What's going on, everybody? Culturedog Sam Hatch back with a quick video. I didn't know if I'd have time to throw this together today, but I did stop out and check out Record Store Day. If you haven't heard about it, every year independent record stores, small chains even, get involved in this this production that a lot of people are a little bit more cynical about it now because the big labels have gotten involved, especially Warner Brothers, in pushing product aimed directly at collectors of vinyl specifically, but there's also some CDs and stuff going on. But it's supposed to be a yearly celebration of brick and mortar stores, small independent record shops, that sort of thing, and purchasing physical media. And it's branched off. There's also a Black Friday version, etc. So some people are a little cynical about it, as I mentioned before, and don't participate. But I always have a good time. It's a good reason to go out and see a bunch of my fellow collectors and just chat up with the store owners and stuff. So I happened to pick up a few things today. Took it relatively easy, but got a cool Record Store Day bag. Very vibrant, right? I did toy with the idea of getting some of the Metallica stuff that came out today. Metallica are the official ambassadors of Record Store Day this year. And they also chose this week to drop their big reissues, remasters, re-everythings of Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. And for a diehard, vintage Metallica fan like myself, there is some crazy killer stuff in the bonus features in the box set. Old demo tapes, etc., DVDs of live performances. It's really a fanboy dream come true. That said, the price is really hefty, and they both came out the same week, so I really just couldn't justify dropping that amount of coin. But what I did do is pick up their live album that they came out, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, Metallica. It's a live recording from the Bataclan from 2003, June 11th. And it's limited to, it comes a little certificate there, 20,000 copies. I've got number 1,421. And apparently they did a little gimmick where they played 3 shows in one day, and one of the shows they played was the Bataclan. And so they decided to release that and give the proceeds to help survivors and victims of the Bataclan massacre last year. And it is filled with 9 tracks, actually really, really good sounding. I've listened to half of it so far in my car. Sounds great. Vinyl-wise, I did pick up a couple of things. Nothing too crazy, but I had bought the CD of this when it first came out, but this is a limited 180-gram green vinyl copy with a digital download of Dead Can Dance's Anastasis. Fantastic album, really, really good stuff. And huge fan of Dead Can Dance. They really can't do wrong in my eyes, so I had to pick that up. We'll unwrap that in a minute. And also, one of my favorites, but not actually released on vinyl until now, as far as I can tell, Matthew Sweet's Good Friend. This is actually it was originally a college promo that luckily I had access to because I did a lot of college radio work. But yeah, it was college radio only and CD, and you could buy it sometimes at used stores. I remember seeing it at Planet Records in Boston for like $30-$35 back in the day. But then it kind of lingered in obscurity for a little while, and then was dredged back up when they came out with the Legacy reissue of Girlfriend. And it's called Good Friend because that was the original title of the song, and people were mishearing it as Girlfriend, so he's like, alright, whatever. So the alternate takes version is called Good Friend, and it's got a little crude hand drawing of the Tuesday Wald photo from the Girlfriend album. A lot of good stuff on here. Bonus tracks and everything. Little lum there, because Matthew Sweet was obsessed with Urusei Yatsura and anime in particular. Crusher Joe, I believe it was, featured heavily in the official music video for Girlfriend. Cool stuff. And some really good live tracks on here. So super excited to have an actual legitimate copy of that. And this is not officially a Record Store Day release, but is a Newbury Comics exclusive, 500 copies, Raspberry Swirl vinyl, John Carpenter's Lost Themes 2. So excited to have this. Again, he does work with Cody Carpenter and Daniel Davies. And I've heard a couple tracks so far, as I mentioned in my Village of the Damned review, but looking forward to firing this up. So we're going to, and I got a couple comics too, but I'll save that for the next pickups video. I got some of those Howard Chaykin Shadow Midnight in Moscow comics I was talking about. But we'll unwrap the Matthew Sweet and the Dead Can Dance, and then we'll do a special unwrapping video of this bad boy after that. So let's tear into some Dead Can Dance, shall we? This is a repressing of their 2012 album, Anastasis, which means resurrection in Greek, which is apropos considering the band spent quite a bit of time off the radar and not actually a recording entity for quite some time. They did some touring. I was lucky enough to catch them on tour in 2005, but this is the first studio album since 1996's Spirit Chaser, so it was definitely a long-awaited return, and luckily it was also a return to form. That didn't feel like any time had passed between recordings, and this just had the traditional Dead Can Dance vibe, picked up right where they left off, and it's awesome stuff. And I like that they use the Han drum in here too. My drummer in my band picked one of those up and was on a waiting list for years before he got one. It's a really cool instrument. So that is featured prominently on a few tracks on here. But it's out from PIAS Recordings, and it is, as I said, a green vinyl, limited to, I think, 1,500 issues. And love having the lyrics on the gatefold here. I have the CD copy as well, but there's something cool about 12 inches times 2 and just being able to crack that open and sit down and check out the lyrics and what it's all about. Dead Can Dance is one of my all-time favorite bands, so I was super excited that they had gotten back together for this, and I'm super excited that it didn't disappoint for sure. But it does come with some really nice black inner sleeves, which is pretty classy, and very simple sticker, and the dark green vinyl, and just primary color kind of stickers on the labels, and that's about it. But still very happy to have a vinyl copy of this to go along with my CD copy, and there's a digital download card too, so you can get it in, I believe, just probably MP3. I don't think it comes with a FLAC. But also picked up Record Store Day's release of Good Friend, as I showed you, and this was, I believe, 4,000 copies were made for it. Very cool. As I mentioned before, this was something that was given away to college radio stations as a promo, and Matthew Sweet's Girlfriend was one of my favorite albums from back in the early 90s. I had slacked on picking up his first couple releases, and this one really jumped out at me. MTV, and in particular 120 Minutes, but I think MTV outside of that too used to play the video quite a bit, and it was pretty cutting edge. It stole basically a lot of footage from Crusher Joe, so it was cool having the anime video mixed with the driving tunes. And I love the whole kind of Richard Lloyd, Robert Quine stuff, that vibe, real atonal guitars and stuff like that, mixed really good with Matthew Sweet's songwriting capabilities. Plain white sleeves, and it's got that kind of almost bootleg white label look to it with the handwritten song titles and everything like that. So it's cool. Pretty much no frills involved, but it is very nice having a legitimate, commercially viable copy of the Good Friend release. But the live tracks are great. There's a good version of Cortez the Killer, a little Neil Young action on there. Good stuff. So hopefully you guys, if you went out to Record Store Day, picked up something cool you liked. If not, hopefully you just had a good time strolling through my pickups for the day. Cheers, everybody.